conquered every grade. We've stopped the urge to just give up and flip our desks in rage. We've made it to this final stop with no sign of return. Or, at least from all the caps and gowns, that's what I can discern. You guys, we've walked the halls of Northville High in good, in bad, and strange, and sulked and whined and shouted why at every little change. Like when parking lot spaces weren't assigned and we thought for sure we all would die. Or when that new carpet was installed and each of us just stared appalled at the monstrosity below our feet that had rendered our lives incomplete. But of course, I must digress and wholeheartedly return to my address, for this isn't about the petty issues of our past. It's about celebrating what we've accomplished as a class. As freshmen, we entered scared and small, cowering in the shadows of seniors so tall, which, by the way, is strange to say because we don't seem all that tall today. And we slowly figured out that Ned's declassified, although his cinematic masterpiece, had lied. High school wasn't where you were stuffed in lockers, and I'm sure it came as quite the shocker to all of you too that upperclassmen weren't as mean as TV movies would have them seem. So we struggled through our high school start, under the ridiculous assumption that freshman year was hard, letting that fantastical dream of our senior year fester and all the craziness that came with it second semester fill up our hearts and stop up our lungs. For it takes my breath away how far we've come. And then 10th grade, the year of the sophomore, where for some reason we assumed we were allowed to slack off more, but really we just thought we were stronger because we weren't freshmen any longer. And that's basically the only thing to say about sophomore year that holds any weight. But civics did teach us what was or wasn't legal, and we sure did learn a lot about man's inherent evil. But mostly we prepared for what was near, the year that almost certainly brought all of us to tears. Yes, junior year, my friends, what we all assumed would be our end. The projects, the essays, the chemistry assignments, the mountains of work that crooked our spines' alignments, the studying for tests that shattered our earths, and the blows we took to our own self-worth when we realized that we weren't going to be good at everything we tried, and that the motivational kitten posters had lied. Because none of us are perfect, and we don't have to try to act as such. Because when we figured out what we loved to do, it didn't matter much. We learned that year that sometimes life's just awful, but then you go to lunch and the special's Belgian waffles. What I'm trying to say is we learn that life goes on, and if we persevere, we'll surely reach the dawn. In other words, the grade we've been dreaming of for years, senior year, 2012, commencement woos and cheers. How can I ascribe mere words to the journey we've completed? We've made it to this point with energy depleted but fantastical dreams of our futures in our minds. Because we all have that secret, secluded part inside of our souls that keeps our greatest dreams on hush, the ridiculous aspirations that would make us all blush. Like my goal to live with gypsies for a year, or to learn guitar, or write like Shakespeare. Or maybe you want to study birds, because you saw the movie Up and thought this is absurd. And then you looked it up and turns out birds can be that tall. And now you're not sure if you want to study medicine at all, when there are giant birds out there and species that are new. So maybe you could take a class on birds at MSU, and then maybe you could learn that you love the Blue Jay song, and ornithology was where you were headed all along. My point is, we can do anything from here. We're not constricted to what we think we love and fear. We're freer than we've ever been to not be something new, but to improve upon the person NHS has always viewed. To ponder the idea that each of us has the potential to be great. To start all over, to learn a trade, to dance, to figure skate, to be and do the things we've been afraid to do before. Because we've always been afraid to fall instead of spread our wings and soar. And I know comparing us to birds is so cliche, but I've run out of words to continue to say that it's okay if you don't know who you are or what you want to be, Because if Northville High School has taught us anything, it's that you just have to wait and see. Congratulations, class of 2012.